Like, it's so much deeper than views, likes. No, it's referrals. It's the business you're attracting, the business you're building, the life that you get as a result, and the person you become in the process.
But the secret to actually experiencing success is doing the work. There's no one thing that's going to do everything for you. It's the work that you do when you invest in that thing. How do I get more leads?
How do I stand out in my market?
Is it unprofessional to talk about my kids on Instagram?
Should I have one account or two?
Do I really need a personal brand as a real estate agent?
We are the Modern Agent Marketing Girls. We are two agents turned marketing experts who believe you can become the go-to real estate girl in your market, all because you are you. I'm Chelsea Peterson, founder and CEO of Modern Agent Social Club.
And I'm Kayla Fox, Modern Agent's content creator. Let us be your guide as we talk about what it means to market your real estate business the modern way.
So refill your favorite beverage, open your notes app, and get ready to build a business and a brand you're obsessed with. Let's go. Good morning, marketing girls.
Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of Modern Agent Marketing Girls. It's so fun being back and chatting away. We've had a few solo episodes here and there, but I just wanted to talk to you, Chelsea.
It's truly been a summer break, I guess, but recording together is so much more fun. And we just had a new team member join us, and she said, "You and Kayla have such good chemistry together." I'm like, wait, are our solo episodes not cutting it?
Right.
But no,
like,
it is
take
fun
the hint.
Fun to record together for sure.
Yeah. So today, I actually have personally been looking forward to recording this episode because all of the questions that I have are like questions I've literally been dying to ask you, and we just haven't had much of a chance to talk about them yet. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you've been up to this summer with the business and like a little like bird's eye view of what you've been doing, and then we'll dive into all the details.
Well, this summer, I just told my husband, I said, I feel like this has been the most challenging phase of my business yet, even more so than the beginning. But I kind of take that back because the beginning is so hard. But it has been really challenging, and it's almost been like a 2.0 version. Like, things are kind of evolving into the next phase. You know, what, 3 years ago, my dad passed away. I had Henry. Like, it was just such a transition in my life. And then I feel like I've looked at my business through a different lens. And the lens, really, to kind of give it one word, is leadership. And I've never really looked at it through leadership. I've looked at it through what do we have to do, and through marketing, and through, making sure that our Instagram is good, and making sure that our email, like, it was all the doing, and not really like the big picture, the overall, like the running your business like a business. Now, obviously, we run our business like a business, but my husband does the financials. So like, I feel like I'm just in la la land, being creative and doing whatever I want, recording the podcast, and that I just got super serious about it this spring, I guess. And it all started when I made the biggest investment I shouldn't say the biggest investment in my business, because it wasn't the highest price thing I've ever paid for in my business, but it was the biggest investment into someone else that I've made in my business. So we spent $75,000 in one day investing in two things: a mastermind program and then a VIP day with the person whose mastermind program that I joined. And ever since I clicked that button and made that decision, things started happening to me that I haven't even ever let my brain think about, or even like the leadership angle, or how are we managing all of this? How is this all working together? What do we really need in this business? How do we unpack all these things and make sure we're operating like at maximum capacity, and that people are in their roles, getting with clear metrics and all these things? Like, this sounds so technical, but really the point is, because I made this investment, it wasn't just about the thing I invested in. It was about so much more. It was like, wait, if I'm going to spend this kind of money, if I'm going to get this serious, the whole business is coming with me, like every single piece of it. And that's why it's been challenging, because I've been just in the weeds, learning how to really be a better leader to my team, not just to our membership, but to my team and as a business owner, but then picking apart the things that I kind of just was really loose and flexible about, that when I realized you do that, things don't move quite as nicely oiled when you're like that. So as a whole, the investment I made caused me to go through this season of almost like back into the river of misery, if you've ever heard us talk about that, where it's new, it's like uncharted territory. You've never done it before. You're figuring out new ways of doing things. You're learning like, okay, I really need to up level here. Like, I'm ready. it's like taking on something that it's never even been in my brain really. Like little bits of it, yes, but I never got that deep. So that is it in a nutshell.
Yeah. So I need to know what thoughts were actually going through your head when you were like getting ready to check out. Like, were your fingers trembling as you were typing in your credit card number? Or like, how, like, was there a part of you that was like, I don't really need this? Or like, I'm doing fine, or I know what to do? What were you thinking?
That's a really good question. This is so wild, but I wasn't even remotely nervous. And I'll tell you why. I have been wanting to invest in something like this where I'm like massive risk, jumping off the cliff. I'm going all in on this thing and I want to learn from this person because I want to also master the thing that they have mastered. So I was so ready for it. The investment. I didn't realize what was coming next. I just
Mm-hmm.
thought I was going to invest in this coaching mastermind program and get a VIP day with her and learn everything I need to know. I didn't even know what was coming. But in the actual moment, no, I wasn't nervous because a couple of things. I had been thinking about this for quite a while. Like, I need this. I know I need something more. Actually, rewinding the clock, when I first started in the online industry, when I was transitioning from real estate into building Modern Agent Social Club, I learned so much from Jenna Kutcher. Love her or hate her, I learned so much from her. And I said to my husband, I said, if Jenna Kutcher would have offered me any component of a small group coaching or a VIP day or I will coach you personally, I would have paid any amount of money. I would have gone to my bank. I would have gotten a loan. I would have made it happen. And she never did that. And I think that that's fine. That's her decision. But I was like, what a disservice. Like, honestly, that she did to her, the people learning from her, they never got the ability to take that next step. There was never even an option, which we're going to talk about that more with how that's coming into our business in a future episode. But what I did know is that I want something bigger, like someone who's more successful than me, someone who has mastered something that I haven't, that I would like to get better at. And I don't want to spend the time trying to fit the pieces together or learning it. And I had followed the person I invested in or found her a year before, and I kind of followed her, kind of listened to her podcast. I, saw her on Instagram sometimes. So I was familiar with her, which is really important. I didn't just see her one day and click the button to spend $75,000. It was a period of me developing that familiarity and like, okay, I trust her and she knows her stuff. And then I went through a challenge with her and I was like, I'm in. I was so excited. Now, immediately after, I was like, maybe not immediately, maybe like a month after, I was like, why did I get myself into this? Because it's when I started getting into the weeds of everything, when I was like ripping apart the business and like, we're up leveling all of these things. I'm figuring this out. I'm going to be a better leader. I'm going to actually follow a leadership protocol. And that's when I was like, what am I doing? This is so distracting. I don't have time for this. I don't even want to go to the VIP day. Like, this all entered my brain probably a month after spending all that money. And I hadn't done it yet. We hadn't had the VIP day yet. And I was just really questioning myself, like, why do I get myself into these things? Like, I should just stay in my lane. This is like taking so much of a distraction from the business. All the thoughts, right? Fast forward, I had the VIP day. I've been doing the mastermind and the coaching. It is the best thing that ever could have happened in my life and business. Like, even as a human, I have up leveled. Like, I'm looking through a different filter, a different lens, a different everything. Because when you invest that, I guess when you invest in something that big, it causes things to come up that you never really let yourself think about, for one. But for two, then you start forcing yourself to think about the things which naturally, as a byproduct, makes you up level everything, and you're looking through everything through a different lens. You're not taking things so lightly. You're not like letting little things slide. You're seeing not only what you want to learn from that person, but also how they operate as a business. And you're like, we're operating that way. Like, we're getting there. So did I answer the question? I forgot what you asked.
You totally did. And then some. I love this whole concept because it's a lot of what we talk about how everything that you've purchased and everything that you've invested in isn't going to work because it's good. It's going to work because you're willing to do the work and your team's willing to do the work that it takes to get the results that this thing promises, right? And I know sometimes people even say that about like the membership or anything. Like, well, how do I know it will work for me? Well, how much are you going to work for it? Like, your attitude going into this VIP day, even if there was moments of like, oh, what was I thinking? Your attitude was, I will get a return on investment. I
Oh,
will
100%.
see a payoff. And like, even if there were things there that maybe you were like, "Eh," like, you were like, "No, I'm determined to do that." So, I'm dying to know a little bit more about, like, how you actually prepared. Like, I know you, had to go through, like, the weeds of the business, but what did that actually look like? Like, what did you actually have to get honest with yourself about business-wise before you went to this day to start your VIP day?
Well, I wanna say this first. Sometimes when we invest in something, whether it's a $200 thing, a $5,000 thing, or as large as a $70,000 thing, that doesn't equal results. Like, that is just you hit go, you started the game. Like, that is all it is. There is obviously things through investing that are allowing you to accelerate the speed at which you will get the results, but like you just said, the results are not just coming because you made an investment. Like, I almost think the higher ticket the prices of the investment, the more work that's going to be required. And that's, I think, what I learned. And it's not like when I invested in this mastermind and VIP day, it was like, just so you know, you're going to rip apart your whole business. And my husband's like, stop saying you ripped it apart. You're just elevating it. Okay, I didn't rip it apart. But it got me thinking so differently. And I think it all started with, like, first of all, the person that I was investing in, I saw where she had gotten in a relatively short amount of time. And I thought, okay, well, in order for that to happen, there needs to be some like massive structure going on. Like, yes, it is about understanding how to grow a business, right? Like, that's part of it. But if you're just trying to grow a business because you're hoping for viral Instagram content and a random person reaching out and it's like you're like posting, praying, doing, praying, like just, and there's really no structure, that's never going to get you there. You have to have like a deeper understanding of where you're going, how that's going to look, the structure that's within all of it, because growing isn't just about like getting new. It's also about like the structure of your existing business, like how your interactions are with people, how your business is set up, how people are experiencing you for the first time and what that looks like, what that feels like, what their next step is. If you have a team, and I don't know that this is relatable to a lot of people listening because I know a lot of agents are solo, but when you do have a team of people working for you, you're responsible for them too. And you're responsible for their success and their results. And like, you don't want to just be paying someone to say, I have a team, right? Like, you want them to be maximizing what they're doing. So it just brought on all of this, like, almost I had this massive responsibility in addition to just growing my business. But honestly, getting into all of that will grow your business. It's just that it feels different and it feels like a distraction. It's like, okay, here I am. Like, okay, for example, I read the book Traction. It's called Traction, Get a Grip on Your Business. And it's like everything from how to structure your core values, your vision, your mission. My husband always told me I needed these. And I'd be like, like that's just like corporate stuff, you know? I read this book and I'm like, here's my core values. And now I had a call with my team. I'm like, you either are all quitting or you're going to be really excited about where we're going. So it just like it forced me to start looking at things through a larger lens of like, where are we going? And like, what is the vision? And where do I want to be in 10 years? Not just this year. Like, we've all heard the quote, people overestimate what they can accomplish in 1 year because January 1st hits. You're like, this is great. By the end of the year, I'm going to be a multi-bazillionaire. But we underestimate what we can accomplish in 10. And so when we're looking at a 10-year goal instead of just a 1-year goal, you're thinking so much bigger, which has you basically doubling, tripling down in a single year period because you're thinking about that long-term goal. So that, like, forcing myself to have my mission, my vision, all of that redefined, coming up with our core values, which is really how we operate as a team, how I expect everyone on the team to operate. Like, all of that got defined by me, and that just helped elevate everything and raise the bar. And it was something that just felt really hard because I had never really let my brain go there. I was focused on like ads or email conversion or how many members and how many this and like how many views do we get on our Instagram account. Like, and it's like that stuff doesn't matter until you are super clear on the foundational pieces of your building foundational pieces of your business. It's like building a house and trying to just forego the foundation. Like, no one cares about the foundation of your house. Like, no one's driving by as your house is getting built being like, oh my gosh, that foundation is so beautiful. Look at that concrete. That's going to be amazing. Like, you might care as the owner because you're like, oh my God, it's the next step, whatever. That's how your business is. If you are only worried about decorating the house and you're not worried about building the foundation, which is the hard work, it's the weeds. Sometimes it happens again. Like I'm kind of rebuilding the foundation now. If you don't have that, the house isn't ever going to go up. It's never going, you're never going to get there. You're never going to have the beautiful house that's beautifully decorated, that you love, that feels like home, that has pictures of your family on the walls. Like you'll never get to that point if you don't first have that foundation. And this is really a foundation. And I know like when I started my business, I kind of did that, but I mean, that was 8 years ago. Like things changed so, so much. And it's like getting back into what does that look like for us? What do I want this to look like for our team? What do I want it to look like for our members? Like, what do I really want to be in this industry? And like circling back to all those things. But then it's like, how do you execute it? How do we kind of get everyone on board? How do we get everyone excited on the team? How do we get everyone like involved? We hired another team member. Like that came through all of this too. Like it's hard to put into like a list or a sentence because you can't really fully go there unless you like experience it. But it's also been like the most important work I think I've ever done.
Yeah. So I need to like add this in here too, because I feel like everything that you're saying probably makes it sound like you really had to pound the hammer on your team and be
Oh
like,
no.
oh, you all need to get in shape, whatever. And it wasn't anything like that. Honestly, like what that initial meeting and then the meetings since then have like reminded me of is that John F. Kennedy, when he was like, we're going to the moon or we choose to go to the moon, and how he like painted that picture because it let everybody know the direction that we were going. And that's what I think what you have done well from all of this is like, it's not a matter of all of us just doing our tasks and doing them well and caring about the result of them, but not seeing as a collective where that's taking us. And I feel like what you've done is say, now we're all going to do those tasks, but now this is the ultimate vision. This is where we're all going and we're all working towards this together. And it's made all of us like rally and be like, oh, like now I see it. So now those little, like, you know, quote unquote mundane tasks that I've had to do, now I see the bigger picture where they fit in. And now I actually see, oh, we actually should make this change, or we actually should think about this differently. Or what if we add it? Like it helps everyone like get aligned. And I think, you know, at the end of the day, we always say, like, as people are listening right now, what's in it for them? Like, why are they listening to this right now? And that's what's so important. If you don't understand where you're going and where you're headed, even if you don't have a team, it's really hard for every task that you do to feel like it's on board. It's hard to understand what's the point of recording this reel? What's the point of sending this email? What's the point of all of this stuff if you don't understand that larger goal and where you want to take your entire business to?
That's such a good point. And yeah, I'm not saying like, oh my gosh, my team sucks. It was more like there was a lot of overlap in things, or it just needed, we needed the vision. It needed the clear vision, because some things can really start to feel like, why am I doing this? Or this is a waste of time. The other thing it's done, like surprisingly or not, it has eliminated things. Like I have been like, we're not doing that anymore. Cut that out. Like we're going to make this simpler. Like it has also just refined certain things where it's like, why are we doing this way? Like this is taking way too long, or that takes way too much time. That takes you a day. We don't need to do that anymore. Like those types of things too. Like, and just me being able to see and have conversations with my team and know like, how long is this taking, or how are we spending our time, and being able to be the leader and say like, we don't need to do that then. Like that doesn't make sense right now. In the book Unreasonable Hospitality, I just took this picture today, but the author was saying how his dad didn't just give advice, he always took the time to explain why. A leadership skill I've always tried to emulate. And I think that's been a big part of this, is me not only understanding my why. And when I say my why, I don't mean like, oh, because I want like freedom and success for my family. Like that's your like emotional why. But I'm talking about the like, why are we doing this? Where are we going? Why are we going there? Like when I can communicate that with everyone in my life, like on my team, my husband, then everyone gets it. Like what you just said about the John F. Kennedy thing, like we're going to the moon. That's when everyone feels like I'm part of this. This is something bigger than just a job or a task or a thing to do. And that all goes back to intention. Like when you're doing things with intention, you know why you're doing it. You know what the purpose is. You know, is it getting you closer to the goal or not? You know, how do I need to simplify this? Like, is this worth the time and energy, or should I cut that out? Like, that's what starts to happen when you really start to unpack and dig deeper. And sometimes those decisions feel hard to make because you're like, well, I've been doing this for a long time though. Or, I mean, it could be like maybe to relate it to real estate. Like if you're paying for cold leads and you're like, you know, I'm realizing this is costing me so much time. And now every check I get from it, I'm not only paying, a percentage of that is already gone because I've paid for the leads, but then all the time I follow up with people who don't turn into anything when I could be doing XYZ that attracts clients to me. And I could eliminate that and actually make more money and spend less time working. Like those types of things is like what this unpacking does and what this having a vision does. And that doesn't mean you can necessarily just cancel everything you're doing right now. Like, some people are reliant on things like that and for their income, but it's thinking deeper through like, wait, why am I doing this in the first place? Or how could I be doing this a lot better and maybe be spending less time, right? Like if you like one question I love to ask people, and I asked this on our club meeting yesterday, I'm like, what is costing you the most time with your social media right now? And a lot of people said like overthinking. And I'm like, if you're overthinking, like that's going back to having that vision of like, okay, why am I on social media in the first place? What am I trying to get out of this? Like, it can't just be to have like a pretty feed or to have content or to check a box. Because when you check a box, you get checkbox results. Like, checking a box is for going to the grocery store and saying, here's my list of things I need to get before the cookout. That's checking a box. Social media should not be checking a box. And in last week's episode, Kayla, you talked about how a lot of times when we try to make things too easy, like, well, how can I just make content as easy as I possibly can? We actually do ourselves a disservice because there is no intention then. It is pure box checking, right? And how is someone going to reach out and be like, oh my gosh, I love following you. I would love to hire you to sell my house, blah, blah, blah. If you're just using it to check a box, that would never happen. And I say this with warmth, but if you are only using social media to check a box, you might as well not use it. And that's like, I'm not telling you to stop using it, obviously, but you need to rethink the bigger picture, the purpose, the how am I going to get where I want to go with this? Like, and think about the reasons why you want to get there. So if your reasons are, I really want to build a brand so that people are coming to me. Like, I'm not chasing business. I know where my next client's coming from. I know that I'm going to make a consistently like enough money every month to live the life I want, not just to survive, to live the life I want, or to make this blank goal happen for my family, to be able to go to Disney every year, whatever that is for you. Like, then you have intention behind it. And then checking the box feels like silly. Like, then you're like, wait, that I do need to focus more on what I'm doing here because you know the end goal, you know the vision. And the vision too, being deeper than just your own personal life, but like, why are you a real estate agent? What are you trying to like? Why do you want to help people buy and sell their houses? It can't just be about the money. You have to have some passion beyond the money for yourself or the flexibility, but like, why are you the right person for that job? And how can you make people have a better experience? Or how can you make them end up in their dream home faster or invest in real estate that builds wealth for their family? Like, you have to have a deeper reason there too. And I think that we also circled back on in all of this with our mission and our vision and what we want for agents and like the real purpose behind all this. It's not just to give you social media content. That is like probably the bottom reason. Like, it's kind of like what I just said about understanding the why. If you don't understand the why behind the content you are creating and posting, then it really doesn't matter. You have to know who you're trying to connect with, why you're doing it, what you're trying to get out of it, and that long-term vision.
We talk about personal branding all the time, but maybe that sounds complicated. But what if I told you you could have a personal brand by Friday?
We're giving you a simple week-long plan with clear action steps to follow Monday through Friday, so by the end of the week, you have everything you need to start standing out in your market.
Click the link in the show notes to grab your personal brand by Friday guide so you can get started today. Yeah, I even asked that in the club meeting yesterday too, just saying like, okay, like if you got really good at this, we were talking about talking to the camera. If you got really good at talking to the camera, making face to cam reels and like doing the, quote unquote yapping videos, all of that, what would happen for you? And a lot of people's answers were like, well, I would build trust faster, or I would build my confidence and all that. And I was like, yeah, that's great. What does that mean for you? Like, why does that matter? You know what I mean? And then it all boils back to like, well, actually, I would build a more magnetic brand and people would be coming to me. I wouldn't have to chase so many people. Maybe that means I would actually be able to be more present with my family or be able to take more vacations with them or to finally buy that lake house for like, it's all of like, that's the payoff. That's the deeper thing. And we have to think about that. I mean, that's like the going to the moon, right? That's like the bigger payoff, has a bigger picture. Everything else are just like details and like byproducts of all of that, right? So I want to hear a little bit about the actual day. And I know there's probably a ton that we don't even have time to get into, but what were a few things that stood out to you throughout your whole VIP day that you would want to share with everybody?
So, number one, they have a private driver. So before I even got there, I knew I was getting picked up from the airport by the driver. And so he texted me the night before with a picture of himself saying, "Hi, I'm Trent. I'm going to be picking you up tomorrow from this side of this airport, blah, blah, blah." And when I got there, he texted me like, "Hey, I'm in this suit and I'm by the baggage claim 5, blah, blah, blah." And so that was obviously an elevated experience. He picks me up. It's like a super nice vehicle. There's waters and snacks stocked in it. The license plate is branded to the business. Like just everything about like talk about your first impression experience. He was a really nice guy. He was actually a retired sheriff. So I'm like, okay, I feel very safe. Like this is great. He drove us to our Airbnb, which I found out was actually owned by who I did the VIP day with. And we were the first guests, which was really fun, but it was really cute. Everything about that was a good experience. It was like a really, really nice, like 2-bedroom, like cute balcony right in this cute little town it felt like a movie set. It was very nice. So everything about that experience felt good. It wasn't like I get there and I'm trying to figure out transportation and I have no idea where I'm going and I am staying in some like basic hotel. Like it all was just like a seamless, very nice experience. So that all went really, really well. And then the morning of, like, they were very communicative. So they said, like, hey, we're going to meet at Starbucks at this time. Oh, here, I have to rewind because this is one thing to think about. I would say that a huge portion of my experience started before the actual day of. And this is a major thing to think about in your own business and everything you do. So before I ever even got there, I had the private driver. I knew I was staying in this really nice Airbnb, which I paid for, by the way. Like I paid for the Airbnb. Like this was not included. The flight was not included, just so you know. So bump that 75 up to about 81. Mark came with me, my husband. And anyways, it started before. So also what happened the week before is the person I was doing the VIP day with sent me a voice message, text message, like from her own phone, and like was asking me questions. And I'm so excited for this. And like, I want to know if you had like one takeaway from, or if you could walk away from this VIP day with like saying this was so worth it, what would that be for you? So I told her, and like, it all just felt like I was being very taken care of, like 5-star experience. And that all happened prior. So like, that's when I was like, okay, I'm so excited for this. Like, you know how I said I was a little like, what was I doing? Like, should I have been spending my time on this? Like, this has caused me to go through all this stuff that is sidetracking me from work I need to do every day, you know? And it ended up being so worth it. So the day itself, a couple of the main things, it was with 3 other entrepreneurs. So it wasn't just me, it was me and 3 other business owners and then the person I was working with and her team. So it was really cool to just be in this environment with other people too they're walking the same path. They're entrepreneurs, they're trying to build their businesses. They also invested in this day, like all the same things. So we met at her headquarters, which I thought was really cool. Now I need a headquarters, but she does a lot of in-person things. So that was really fun, like big conference table, like comfy chairs sitting around. Everything was on brand. I mean, like I loved all the little touch points. She had a videographer there. So like he was videoing, like everything felt so like this is what I'm talking about with like it just makes you up level. You're like, okay, I want to up level that. I want to do that. I want our business to be this. And we're not in person, but you can still take aspects of that, right? And bring them to your own business. So like beyond just the thing I was there to learn, all these other things come flooding in because you're experiencing someone else's business, how they operate, how they send emails, how they talk, how they work, things that they invest in, their team, their people. Like that is such a benefit to investing in someone. I've never invested this way, so I really can't relate. I've never bought something because I'm like, oh, wait, what features does it have? Or like, what do I all get? Like, what do I get from this day? That was never a thought in my head, like tangible things. My thought was like, this is going to 10x my business because I'm going to go there. I'm going to soak up every single thing I possibly can. And I'm going to do the work to 10x my business from it. So that $80,000 is literally pennies to me if I 10x my business. Like it's nothing. So that's how you have to think about investing. I didn't care like, wait, are you going to pay? I told my husband this. I'm like, I guarantee there are situations where people make these investments and they're like, they're not paying for my hotel. They're not paying for my plane ticket. They're not giving me a meal. I'm like, I could care less about those things. I want the thing that's going to 10x my business. I want the up level that's going to get me to the complete next phase of things. Right? Like 10x that's a big amount. But that's in my head. Like that's what I have in my head. So I'm going to make it happen. And that's all you need to be thinking when you invest in something. And that's all that should be your priority is how am I going to take what I'm learning, act quickly, and turn it around to make that amount of money basically feel like nothing. Like feel like absolutely nothing. It's like if I said, if you gave me $100 today and I gave you 100,000 next week or next year, would you give me the 100 today to turn it into 100,000? Like, of course you would. That's how you have to think about the money you spend in your business. It's not about like cost. It's an investment because it should be coming back to you is what I'm trying to say. So instead of thinking like, how much will this cost me? It should be
Right.
how much is this going to make me, right? So it's not like when you're at the grocery store, like price checking, oh, which ground beef should I buy? Like that's
Yeah.
not how you should be looking at things that you're investing in your business. Which one is more expensive? It's which one's going to get me the biggest return and which one am I going to go all in on? And I'll tell you
Yeah.
another secret. This is not just me. This is psychology. You can Google this, you can look this up. When you pay attention. I hate free information. You can get free information anywhere. You can get it from ChatGPT, you can get it anywhere. I only want to invest in things from people that I want their brain. I want their point of view. I want their take. I want to know their experience. I want to know their structure and all that. That's what I'm paying for. I'm not paying for information. And that's why we don't like to give like content ideas on Instagram, which I know we've talked about a bunch of times, but I'm like, that's like a dime a dozen. That is not what sets us apart. That is not, I mean, our content, we do have a content formula, but the point is, I think we play too small. We look at like, and I did too for a really long time, like we're looking at what is this going to do for me or what is this going to give me? But we need to be thinking like, what am I going to do with this that's going to get me closer to my vision, closer to my mission, whatever that is for you.
Yeah, like, who are you gonna become?
Yes,
And
in the
that's so much
process.
of the process. Yes, and that's the same thing true, like, when you do, like, personal brand work, it's kind of the same idea, right? You're kind of ripping apart some of the things that you've always thought about yourself or some of your beliefs that you don't even realize that you believe. You're thinking about your day-to-day and how you spend your time, and there are probably if you go through the whole personal brand building process that we laid out, there's probably some things that you come across that you think, "Ugh, I don't even wanna, like, go there," or, like, I don't even it just, like, makes you feel, like, dreadful or makes you feel like, "Wow, have I, like, missed it this whole time? Like, have I forgotten that?" But the person that you become after you do that hard work is the person that people can't wait to hire. And we can't just give you, like, "Here's your brand, like, here you go." If we would just give that to people, again, dime a dozen, right? We could say, like, "Here's your thing, and here's your catchphrase, and here's your colors, and here's whatever," like, it wouldn't be true to you anyway, and it wouldn't make you the person that you wanna be, and that's what I like about all of this too, like, even for yourself as a leader, but also for our whole team, like, everything that we are now working towards is not only gonna help our members more and hopefully increase the number of members, but it's also gonna make us people that they want to pay to be in a room with because they're like, "Whoa, she's learned something and she's changed, and I wanna know who she is." I remember seeing, someone post on Instagram once, like, just think, by next Christmas, you could be walking into the family function and having people go, "Whoa, what happened to you?" Like, in a good way, right? And that's what developing those leadership skills does for you, and that's why, like, we're so big, like, even, like, for agents, yes, even if they're not on a team, you are a thought leader in your industry, and you are a thought leader in your community if you are leaning into the personal branding, and so you have to be willing to do that work, be willing to be a little bit uncomfortable, and no one can do it for you. You're the only one who can do it for yourself.
I've been saying like we are going to be the best in the industry because I invest in the best and I'm committed to getting people the best results. And we do that through knowing our mission, knowing our vision, being very strong and clear in the values that basically are the filter in which we run everything through now, but also knowing that we know you have to do the work. So as much as we know people would pay, they'd be like, here's my credit card. If I was like, I'll just do your brand for you,
Right.
that would never get you results. And I know that, and that's why we don't do that. The hardest part about building a brand it's not even about the content. You just talked about the payoff and who you become in that process. It's doing all the thinking that comes before the content. It's doing all the work that builds your brand along the way. Like, it's not like you wake up one day and you're like, okay, I'm going to do these 5 things. I'm going to check these boxes and then I'll have a personal brand. You could get really far ahead in about a week and get some really good clarity, but it's through that ongoing thinking, doing, showing up. That's what builds the brand. And that's when the transformation's happening. So as much as even like I signed up for the VIP day, I joined the mastermind, I went to them, I did like whatever. Even with all of that, I was not expecting all this other work that had nothing to do really with what I paid for, but I know that that's a transformation working, and that's why it felt hard. That's why it felt challenging. That's why it was like giving me resistance on like, this isn't what I don't have time for this right now, right? Like, but it pushed me through it. And I remember like a month ago, I was like, I'm in the river of misery right now. Like I'm like, I'm in it. I just made that realization. But you know what? Because I'm in it, that means I'm going to get to the other side.
Right, you're
Like,
going
at least I'm not
somewhere.
on at least I haven't like stepped off the dock yet, like
Yeah.
I'm in it. So we're already like going through the motions. Like we're going to get there. I feel like I'm still not fully out of it. I'll probably be out of it in, who knows? I don't want to say, I'll jinx myself. We are close to shore though. We're close, very close to shore. And what is so sad to me is no one wants to, and who would ever want to go through the river of misery? However, one of our members said you can take a party boat, which is,
Yeah.
we are aboard that boat, and that's how we help you, right? Like the program and people I invested in I was on their party boat, so it made it a lot easier. But it
Yeah.
still doesn't negate the work you have to do. And I think it's so sad because so many people aren't getting results in their business, or the results that they could, because they are unwilling to go through that. They're unwilling to get uncomfortable. They're unwilling to do the work. They're unwilling to maybe stop some of the things that are keeping them afloat, but will never get them, to where they would love to be. And I think that's so sad. And it does come down to, being unwilling to invest, or I'll invest when I start making money. That can't be the thing. So the person I invested in, here's a quick story. I'm 8 years into my business. So this price point investment, it was still a big investment, obviously, to pay someone that much money for basically a day. But the point is, I made so many investments along the way. I'm talking about a recent one. But what made me really feel like, okay, I want to learn from her, is she talked about when she started, she went to the bank and literally took out, like, got a loan to pay for an investment she made. And now she's extremely successful. And I'm like, that's what it takes sometimes. Like, maybe you don't get a loan from the bank. Maybe it's from your parents. Maybe it's a credit card or 4. Maybe, and I'm not saying to put yourself in this horrible place. Like, but this is what the difference is in your mind. It's knowing that I'm going to make this work, or you invest and you wait for something to magically fall down and happen. Like, that's never coming. That's never going to happen. So
Yeah.
anything you are investing in, being familiar with the person, which we tell you all the time. Like, I hope you're seeing these trends come through. I'm not even trying to say this stuff. I was familiar with her, which made me very comfortable to invest. When people are familiar with you, they're going to be comfortable to hire you and invest in you as their agent.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. If you, this is why cold leads are 1,000 times harder to convert, to work with, to get from point A to closing day. Like, it's so much harder. They don't care about you. You are a means to an end. But when people are familiar with you and you're attracting them to you, that's what makes your business run smoothly. They know what to expect. That doesn't mean there will never be a hiccup. There will never be a bump in the road. There will never be something negative. It just means that you're going to have a way stronger business than if you are paying for leads or doing open houses and hoping to convert people. Like, it's just that's why building the brand that makes you familiar makes people comfortable with you. It builds trust on the front end so that they know exactly what to expect. And that's why we talk all the time about, like, let's not post like real estate agents, because real estate agents are posting what's expected, right? Like, it's like the checking the box that here's what's expected, but post like someone who's building a business. Like,
Right.
those are two different things.
Well, posting like someone who has something valuable to say, and people who have something valuable to say have been investing in themselves. So I love this. I love being able to take everyone behind the scenes of our business, but also like throughout all of this, there's so many little lessons and so many little nuggets that I hope people will take away from this. A few that I caught were like, first of all, first impressions matter. And your social media is that first impression. Even if someone, tells you, oh, so and so told me to call you, they looked you up on Instagram. Like it played a role. So first impressions matter. Proximity matters. Who you surround yourself by matters. So when you put yourself in a room with other like-minded business owners and leaders who like you want to emulate, like that rubs off on you, that holds you accountable, even if they're not calling in to check on you, like it makes you rise up to the occasion, right? When you pay attention. So like there are so many things we could give away for free, but it's not going to do anyone any favors. Like they're not even going to like open up that PDF. They're not even going to think to themselves like, how can I actually apply this right now? But when you push all your chips in, you're like, I'm going to get every dime back out of what I just invested in. Then you pay attention and you get the results, right? But also I think like when all is said and done, money is just a tool. It's nothing personal. It's just a tool. If you run out, there's always more to be made. Like there's always, it's going to keep flowing. It's going to ebb and flow. But the secret to actually experiencing success is doing the work. There's no program. There's no mastermind. There's no VIP day. There's no one thing that's going to do everything for you. It's the work that you do when you invest in that thing.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good recap. I have a couple more things to say. First of all, you're never at the finish line. So I just realized I said I did this 8 years into my business. So 8 years in, I'm not like, it's not like I'm struggling. I'm not at the beginning phase, right? I said this almost felt like just as hard as the beginning because I'm almost like going through it all. But you're never too far into something to think like you're too good to keep investing in yourself and learning. Like I'm excited for the next thing. I'm like, what's next? Like, tell me what's next. How much is it going to be? I'm ready. Like I'm ready for whatever's coming next. Not that I just want to throw money away, but because I know how much this has elevated me. Secondly, if at this, let's call it a sales page, when I clicked that button and decided to spend this money, if it would have said, just so you know, you're probably going to experience about 6 months of hardship as far as like your mental state. And this is going to cause you to redo your whole everything about the way you operate. It's going to make you have really hard conversations. It's going to make like I'm out. And so many times we lead with how much, I shouldn't say how much work something is, but like we don't, instead of leading with like, here's the payoff of working with me. Here's the payoff of when you get into that home that you love. Here's the payoff of when you invest in properties to build wealth for your family and make money every month because you have these commercial investments, whatever. When you lead with the payoff, people are excited. When you lead with like, here's the 6,000 steps that happen before you get there, people are like, no, thank you. Like I'm checking out. And I think sometimes, and I'm guilty of this in the past too, of like showing people how many steps it requires to get to their goal. Like, hey, you can build a personal brand. Here's 9,000 things to do first. Like people are like, I don't have time for that. Like that's what I would have thought. I've been like, I don't have time for this right now. Are you kidding me? Like I have
Right.
a membership to run. I have trainings to lead, like all the things. So it's really thinking about in anything you are even talking about, leading with the payoff. I've been wanting to do an episode about this for so long. I save all of these reels about people who buy homes and what they post about. And I have hundreds. And I will tell you, no one's talking about any logistical terminology. They're not talking about any industry jargon. They're like, here, I'm going to read the one I just found yesterday because it's so good. She said, point of view, your kids realize this is where they get to finish growing up. That is the thoughts people are thinking. They moved into their new house and that's what she posted. And like, so people aren't thinking like, but what if, like, I just need the interest rates to go down or I just need whatever. Like, we can't lead with all that. Like, you need to be knowledgeable about it. Just like I need to be knowledgeable about marketing and branding, but we don't need to lead with all the jargon and all of that stuff. Or people are gonna be like, no, thank you. I don't want to know anymore. I don't want to follow you. I don't want to know more. I don't want to work with you. I don't want to consume your content. And so like, that's really important to know. The last thing I want to say, I missed this part in my experience of the VIP day. My absolute favorite part of the day was the dinner. That was my favorite part of the entire day. So after the whole day of like strategy, which was amazing. Like I could sit there for weeks. Like I could go, I could sit there for weeks. It was so good. But my favorite part was the dinner because that's where you actually like relax a little bit and you're just talking. You're learning like other things about the other business owners. I mostly cared about the person I invested in, not the other business owner. I did care about them, but you know what I mean? Like, I just want to hear how, like, I asked, what's your morning routine? Like, how do you set yourself up for success? She told me, she's like, one thing I learned like a year ago, and I avoided it for so long, and everyone talks about this. This is not anything new that I'm about to say. She said, I journal 3 pages. She said I was told to journal 3 pages. I do 1 and get all my thoughts out every morning. And it just clears my brain and it makes my day so much more productive and smooth. How many times have you heard that?
Right.
A million?
A million.
It's all over Instagram. It's on every reel for free. But because she told me that, what do you think I've been doing since I got back?
Got yourself a cute little journal.
This is the point, though. When you're invested in the person and you want to learn from them and you're not just consuming free information, and like, it honestly has made me like, I don't like just consuming random Instagram content. It's fun to consume, and I consume fun things, and I love following the people I'm connected with and invested in. But like, I don't want another piece of free information for the rest of my life. I only want to learn from the people whose advice I want. And that's who you can be for people too. That's who we hope to be for people through this podcast and through the membership and through sharing our experiences and how we operate and how we do things. Like, it's on us to make money and support our families and to make our clients happy and to attract clients to us and all the things. It's on us. And at the end of the day, that's all we need to know. Like, so how are we going to operate? Who are we going to invest in? Who do we want to learn from? And like, shut off all the other noise. I told Kayla, she was here last week, which I would love to do an episode on that whole week. That was so good. Kayla's so like amazing. She could like, anyways. What I was going to say though, is that I told Kayla I've been unsubscribing from like all these things that I get, like emails, and like not unfollowing people, but like sometimes I would waste my time scrolling through like the Every Girl. I love the Every Girl account. They have so much good stuff. But it'll be like, here's what movies to watch this weekend. And here, I'm like, I don't have time for that anymore. I'm just like unsubscribing from everything. Like, I'm so tunnel vision focused right now on everything business. Like, and not that I never have fun. Like, I had a really good 4th of July weekend. I hung out with my family all weekend, but I'm like, I'm maximizing every space of time that I do have. So when I do spend time with my family, I'm not distracted. And like, I have barely been reading my fiction books, which I love reading. I will come back to this. I just read at night and I've been so tired. I fall asleep right when I start reading. But I have just been so focused that I'm like, I'm unsubscribing from everything that distracts me, whether it's like a positive distraction or a negative distraction. I love my reality shows, and thank God Summer House is finally over because that took up so much of my time. But like, I was getting so much Summer House content and I'm like, I don't want to look at that anymore. Like, I'm just like, so focused. And that's, again, these are all byproducts of investing in yourself and the transformation that happens that you can't like, it's not like she could put on her website, like, when you do this, you're
right.
I would be like, no, I want to watch my reality shows, like, you don't know until you're in it. And I think like you've been like that for a long time, Kayla, anyways, but it's one of those things where it makes you just take things a little bit more seriously and not want to waste any time.
Yeah. Well, because you see what's possible too. Like, you see like, okay, if this could happen for her, this could happen here. And I know how we're going to get there now. So
exactly.
I'm excited to be a part of it. And I'm excited to keep letting our listeners in on the things that are coming for them, but also letting them see what we're learning and how they can apply it to their business too.
Yes, this is so fun. I know I talked a lot, but
I think it's really good.
I loved your recap takeaways. I think that those are really helpful. And I hope that our like priority with this podcast is to not give you the information you can Google or just get for free on ChatGPT or whatever. Like, we want you to be able to see through our lens and for you to be able to think about things differently, because that's what's going to give you your point of view and make you like be that person for people, that authority for people in your market who are like, I only want her advice. I don't care what % they're charging. I don't care what broker you're with. I want your advice and your hands on my house or my home purchase or whatever. Like, that's what we want for you. Like, it's so much deeper than views, likes, cold leads. Like, it's like, no, it's referrals. It's the business you're attracting, the business you're building, the life that you get as a result, and the person you become in the process. Like, that is, if you made it this far, that's who we are for. Maybe we clip this out for the beginning. And we're so happy that you're here.
I love it. Very cool. This was so fun.
All right. Well, you will see you next Tuesday.
Bye.
I'm so glad we got to hang out today. If you're as sad as I am that our time is up, I've got good news. There are a couple of different ways we can keep the conversation going.
First, follow us on Instagram at Modern Agent Marketing Girls and introduce yourself in the DMs. Also, we always have a free Modern Agent resource available, so check out today's show notes for the goods.
And finally, hang out with other go-to real estate girls like you and finally create a marketing plan that works when you join Modern Agent Social Club. All the details are in today's notes.
XOXO, the Marketing Girls.